real quickly. I just received a Copeland nickel silver Soprano D whistle. I've not been particularly interested in the Copeland Soprano D. I'm not a Soprano D person, but I'm doing a with my Copeland recreation project. I figured, it's available. They're out there. I've seen several of them come and go. I thought, well, I might as well pick one up. And I do like the conical bore designs. One of my favorite Soprano D whistles was a carbony that has a lot of characteristics based on the sweet tone and the Copeland design. So my hope is that this will actually be my favorite Soprano D whistle, but we'll see. I haven't played it yet. So I just got it out of the box. I rinsed it off with some hot water. So here's how it sounds. It doesn't sound as strong on the bottom as I expected. Yeah, so it's definitely not worth what there's one that's listed for $1,200 on Reverb, down from $1,300. Don't pay that for this. It's silly. These used to go for years ago when I also didn't buy one. They were going for like $600. I've seen them on Reverb for $350. I would say 350 is pushing it. It's really not my thing. It's a good whistle, but like, here's my my Burke, and I threw a wall on it just because I kind of like the way the Burke sound with a wall, but versus my walled Burke. So if I take the wall off, which again I was just kind of playing around with that. For some reason, the Burkes get a lot of strength in their low register. Should have pushed it. They're already strong, but versus. It's got a very nice upper register, but really the reason that I like the Copelands is because of the characteristic of the low octave. the the Burke plays the way that I kind of expected the Copeland to play. Here's a McManus. Yeah, I mean, again, really what strikes me is I've heard people, especially as soon as I bought one, I started reading all these stories. Some people were saying that the second octave is overwhelming. It's a loud whistle. Lives in a lot of people's drawers, not their underwear, but their just a bedroom drawer or something. Like, they don't play it very much. It doesn't have very much back pressure at all. Really does remind me of a sweet tone, or which the sweet tone was designed. The head was designed by Michael Copeland, so that would make sense. I was just expecting like a thicker, more resonant, earthier sound, stronger sound on the bottom. Now, I guess I could throw a wall on here. I know on these he never. So here, I'll play this. Oops, without the wall that I had on my Burke. And then I will throw this wall on here and get it situated. It's going to be kind of rough. There's some optimization stuff that you can do with this, but just to kind of make it, give it like a little wall, kind of like the its older siblings have, or bigger siblings. See what that does. It's not super aggressive, but I like that better. I feel like this could have used a wall. Brings up that resonance just a little bit on the bottom. Back over to the Burke. So yeah, just rough and ready first impressions. I would say, buy a Burke or a McManus or something. Like I really, it's good. It's a good whistle. It's only worth $1,000 if or $1,300 if you just really like the Copeland name or the aesthetic or something. But I would say. And that's even with the Lodi, like, it's unique. It's got a unique sound, unique playing characteristics, but you're paying a premium for the rarity, and it's just, at the end of the day, I don't think that the Lodi, that there's anything that's quite as comparable out there, But I think I just feel like there are options that are still available that are, a fraction of the price, and there's not anything inherently valuable that the Copeland whistles give you that you can't get in a modern day whistle. As far as like, I want a whistle that sounds nice and handles well, it's good tuning. There are whistles that I even think do some things better than the Copelands. The like I said, back pressure. If you like back pressure, don't get a Copeland. And like air efficiency, don't get a Copeland. There's a reason why when they were more readily available, there were people that got them, played them, and sold them in favor of like a Goldie whistle or an Overton style, or a Burke, or any of the other other makes out there, even an MK. There's just not anything that is like inherently makes the Copelands, 3 to 4 times more expensive. What is it? Like a Goldie is like maybe $300 or $400 now. The Copeland Low D is not, 3 times as good as a Goldie, and I would argue that in some ways the Goldie is better. I just, like I said, I like the way they look, and there's some handling characteristics that I really like, which is one of the reasons that I'm going to try to replicate them. So I'm not saying that they're not valuable, but or that there's no reason why somebody would want a Copeland, but I just think the prices have gotten like insane lately, and I think a big part of that is because there's like a mystique around the Copeland design, because it was a really good whistle, but like I would say like the Low D, it was a more labor-intensive design. These are more labor-intensive designs because of the conical bore. He had to create his own tubing. A lot of effort soldering the wall and stuff on there. I would say that it would make it like, if they were still made today, you could say they were like a $600 whistle, But because they are rare and people like just assume that they're the best whistles in the world, the prices are just getting astronomical. And as someone who would like to purchase a few more Copelands for my project, I would like them not to be so astronomical. I'd like them to go back to what they were a few years ago. I saw it still shows up on my search window, but it's like a G, C, D, high D set. And it's like $1,600 for 3 Copelands. It's like, that's a lot, but it's more reasonable than some people trying to charge like $1,300 for a Soprano D. So don't do it. leave them alone. Unless you're just, like I said, unless you have just a real reason to do that, which there are some people that just love the Copeland design. And they have Copelands and they play Copelands and they want to have a full set of Copelands, and I get it. But if you're just out there looking for a good whistle, there's a lot of good whistles out there, and you get a lot of good whistles for the same price as this guy right here. So I hope that's helpful.